what does this mean for your customers, right? Now, we're going to be talking about 6 years. We're going to be talking about 6 years. You're going to hear us say 6 years very often. The reason we talk about 6 years is because that's the average trade-in cycle.
Yeah,
is 6 years.
Standard trade-in age, 6 years.
6 years. So
kind of coincides with those loan terms, but we'll talk about that.
That's for a different story. So think about a customer who's coming into your lot who may not have traded in a car for 6 years, right? But they have an idea of how things should go based on their transaction 6 years ago, right? Again, as we said in our last webinar, these customers don't study the car business. They don't work in the car business. They don't live in it. So their only interaction might be every 6 years. So we're trying to help prime you for what that person is going to be exposed to. So let's take a look at some more numbers.
Back to the numbers, right? So when we look at, actually, last slide, it's for that customer, it's been 6 years. For some of them, they'll be winning, right? They'll get the same value derived from that trade-in as they did 6 years ago.
Because the market is really kind to certain vehicles
SUVs,
right now.
Certain kinds of trucks, those guys are going to be okay. Again, when we look at sedan owners, coupes, sports cars, luxury vehicles, those guys are all going to be down. They're going to be so down. I mean, like if you look at something like Toyota's Camry,
great
6
car.
years ago,
Super respectable car, fantastic.
Everyone's driven one, everyone's sat in one, everyone knows what a Camry is, and they know it's going to drive 200,000-300,000 miles easily. However, that all said, with the new dynamics of the market the way it is, leasing being through the roof, Camry, a lot of them were leased, coming back. Excuse me. Back 6 years ago, you had in that mid-30s as far as retained value for trade-ins.
And that's what your customers didn't expect. They're going to say, last time I got close to 40% of my sticker price back as a trade-in. Right?
But now when they come back in, it's going to be closer to 30%. I mean, something like Nissan's Versa, you're going from 40% 6 years ago to 20% value retained on the trade-in. That's going to hurt.
And it's not a knock on the vehicle, right?
No.
It's just how the market has shifted. Now, everybody in the world is talking about SUVs and trucks, us included. Even here at Edmunds, we're talking about SUVs and trucks. But we still live in a world where people buy sedans and have bought sedans. And so we're going to be dealing with the shift. And these customers are going to be coming in saying, hey, I bought a Honda Civic because it's got rock solid trade-in value, right? It retains its value, reliability, all that stuff. The last time I bought a Civic, when I traded mine in, I got, 50% of the value or 60% of the value back. That's not going to be the case this time. And as we said in the last webinar, we want to make sure that you understand that this is not just your client. This is not just, your demographic. This is
not an isolated incident by any means, no.
This is the whole country.
Yeah.
So this is what they're going to be feeling. They're going to be feeling like, hey, man, what's going on? Last time you gave me this. This time you're giving me this. And on top of all that, let's go to the next slide, please.
It's going to get uglier.
Not only it gets worse. Not only does the customer get less for their trade-in now, but if you look at what they are jumping into as far as what their payments are going to be, and the reason we're talking about payments is because 85% of people finance.
Yes.
Payments matter. We're talking about an average car payment of what, $550 or something like that?
That's up only roughly $100-ish,
right,
plus or minus.
So yeah, take a look at that. Look at that chart. Last time that they bought a car, average payment $460. Now average payment $550, and we're going to give them less for their trade.
Yeah.
Great time.
Fantastic.
Right? This is what your customers are going to be experiencing, and I'm sure some of you have already seen this, but we want to again quantify. You're not alone. This is just the deal. This is just what's happening.